morning class. Today we'll take up again Hornbill and we'll start with the chapter Discovering Tut. The saga continues. Tut is actually, you would be wondering what is Tut. It is the name of the king, the very young king actually. He was a very young king, and the saga means a story, and it is written by A.R. Williams. And this chapter will remind you all about that movie, The Mummy Returns. Have you all seen that movie, The Mummy Returns? Yeah, you all must be knowing what is a mummy, and actually mummies concepts. What does it say about the belief? These people believe that the soul, it doesn't die, it lives forever, and that's why they kind of bury all the important necessary things with the dead body. And that is how and they believe that these mummies, they never got decomposed and all, they would all such kind of ointment or things were used to keep them always alive. Now let's moving on with the chapter. He was just a teenager when he died. Who is the author is talking about? King Tut. So he's saying that King Tut was a teenager when he died. It means he died at quite an early age. The last heir of a powerful family, and he was the last heir. Now you know what is an heir? Heir, successor. Okay, so he was the successor of a powerful family that had ruled Egypt. Now Egypt, you must be knowing it, since mummy, they are prevalent in Egypt only. And the last heir of a powerful family that had ruled Egypt and its empire for centuries. And he belonged to a family which had ruled it over Egypt for quite a long time. He was laid to rest, laden with gold, and eventually forgotten. Now this particular young king was laid to rest. Laid to rest means buried. Laid to rest means to rest, like why somebody would be laid to rest? Because he was dead and he was buried. And he was laden with gold, like a lot of gold was buried with him, and this young king was forgotten. Now, since the discovery of his tomb in 1922, the modern world has speculated about what happened to him. Actually, some historians, they tried to excavate his tomb, and it was done in 1922. And then the modern world could speculate, could assume what actually happened with him, with murder being the most extreme possibility, and the most extreme possibility was murder. Now, leaving his tomb for the first time in almost 80 years, Tut has undergone a CT scan that offers new clues about his life and death. Now, this line must be, kind of surprising, must be appearing surprising to you all, because CT scans, like we human beings go for CT scan when we have a problem in our mind, But, in first time in 80 years, his tomb was disturbed, and his entire tomb was sent into a CT scan, and this CT scan told so many clues, it gave so many clues about his life and death. And it provides precise data for an accurate forensic reconstruction of the boyish pharaoh. Pharaohs are, the kings are in Egypt are known as pharaohs. So it is saying that the clue which we got about his life and death, it provided very precise. Precise means accurate data of an accurate forensic reconstruction. Like we could see actually what had happened to this boyish means young, pharaoh means king. An angry wind stirred up ghostly dust devils as King Tut was taken from his resting place in the ancient Egyptian cemetery known as the Valley of the Kings. So the author is saying that when his tomb was excavated, when it was being excavated means when it was being dug up, The wind also, it means the nature became so angry for disturbing King Tut that there was an extreme angry wind started blowing up because probably the nature did not like the excavation of this king. Dark-bellied clouds had scudded across the desert sky. The dark clouds, the black color clouds, they had all scattered around the desert sky all day and now were wheeling the stars in cascade gray. And they had covered the stars. It means the sky had become so dark, and the stars were covered in that particular color. Sorry. It was 6 p.m. on 5th January 2005. Now, when it was being excavated, it was being excavated on 5th January. The world's most famous mummy glided headfirst into a CT scanner brought here to probe the lingering medical mysteries of this little understood young ruler who died more than 3,300 years ago. Now, on 5th January 2005, the world's most famous mummy, King Tut's mummy, was one of the most famous mummy, and her head first went into the CT scanner and it brought here to probe. The probe means inquiring, probe means questioning, and this CT scanner, it wanted to question the lingering means lying around, that lying around medical mysteries. There were so many mysteries related to this young king, and this CT scan was going to bring an end to all the to all the suspense, to all the mysteries related to his death. All afternoon, the usual line of tourists from around the world had descended into the cramped rock-cut tomb some 26 feet underground to pay their respect. Now, when it was excavated, entire afternoon, there were like tourists from around the world, all around, and they descended. Descended means went down into cramped. Cramped means very small. It was a tomb, rock cut. It was made up of rock, and it was 26 feet underground, and they all went that deep to pay their homage, means respect. They gazed at the murals on the walls of the burial chamber and peered at Tut's gilded face. Like all these tourists, gazed means looked at the murals. Murals means the graffiti. On the walls of the chamber. Chamber means that entire, room. Okay, and they peered means again looked intently at Tut's gilded face. Gilded means made up of gold. The most striking feature of his mummy-shaped outer coffin lid. That gilded face was the most striking feature, and another striking feature was the outer coffin lid, the lid of that coffin. Some visitors read from guidebooks in a whisper. Now, some of the visitors, they were reading from a guidebook, and they were reading in a whispering. Others were standing very silently. Perhaps they were pondering Tut's untimely death in his late teens. Now, they were pondering. Pondering means they were, thinking. When you think intently over a topic, it is known as pondering. So they were pondering over his untimely death in his late teens. Teens means young age. Or they were wondering with a shiver if the Pharaoh's curse, Pharaoh means again the king, whether his curse, death or misfortune falling upon those who disturbed him was really true. Now some of them were really wondering whether the king's misfortune or the curse which had befallen upon him, due to which he died at so an early age, Is it gonna fall on all the persons who have disturbed this mummy? Is it true? They just wondered. The mummy is in very bad condition because of what Carter did in 1920s, said Zahi Hawass, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities. So, actually, one of the officer from he was a Secretary General of Antiquities, Mr. Zahi Hawass. He said that the mummy is in a very bad condition because a person named Carter, he really did something bad with mummy in 1920. And he said it, and he leaned over the body for a long first look. And he leaned over. Leaned over means he looked over. He bent over the body for a long first look. Carter. Now let's read who is Carter. Carter, Howard Carter, that is, was the British archaeologist who in 1922 discovered Tut's tomb after years of futile searching. So he was a British archaeologist, and in 1922 he discovered King Tut's tomb after so many years of futile means wasted, in vain searching. Its contents, though hastily ransacked in antiquity, were surprisingly complete, and the content of the mummy, though they were hastily ransacked means plundered, looted. They were looted in antiquity, like some of the ancient things. For them they were plundered, but still they were complete. They remain the richest royal collection ever found and have become part of the pharaoh's legend. And this collection and this mummy has it is one of the legendary, of all the collection. Stunning artifacts in gold. Now this mummy had stunning, unbelievable, beautiful artifacts. Artifacts means display things in gold, and their eternal brilliance meant to guarantee resurrection. Resurrection means something which comes back to life. It caused a sensation at the time of the discovery and still get the most attention. Like this mummy gets its most attention because of all those, what I should say, gold work, and which kind of, it had an eternal brilliance, and it is believed that, there will be a process of resurrection which will be coming back to life. But Tut was also buried with everyday things he would want in the afterlife. What all things he would want? Board games, a bronze razor, linen undergarments, cases of food and wine. So dear ones, we'll stop here because of this time as a constraint, and we'll pick up the chapter tomorrow. Thank you everyone.